Welcome to episode 17 of the Nintendo Newscast. This week's guest is the 2010 Wii Summer Games champion, TJ Harris. Introducing your hosts, Happily Candied and Amiibo Jason.
Good evening, Nintendo fans. How's it going? How's it going, Happily Candied? How are you?
Hi, guys.
What's going on, everybody? It's Amiibo Jason here, as always, with one of the best co-hosts I can ask for, the Jason Greer to my Josh Brown, Lauren.
It's true.
Also known as Happily Candied. How are you?
That is me. Hello, guys. I'm doing quite well with a busy weekend.
It was an incredibly busy weekend. I think one of the fun things that we are going to be able to talk about this evening is, number one, how excited we were about all the Nintendo stuff we got to do yesterday, but number two, how tired I think everybody is from all the stuff that we got to do yesterday. So there is a lot of absolutely fun things that I think we get to talk about on top of being totally and utterly exhausted. The fun thing about me is, though, and I think one thing Happily Candied hates about me is that even when I'm tired and exhausted, I'm chipper as hell. Like, I am like ready to go.
Well, that's not always the case, but
it's annoying,
when
isn't
he
it?
has to be, yes.
Yeah, for the most part. Before we go into any of our topics, we have one of the coolest guests of all time.
Yes.
One of the nicest dudes I've ever met in my entire life. He has helped us so many times with Customs for a Cure in the past. I'm going to let Happily Candied make the introduction on this one because I think she would like to.
I always gush about TJ because he's somebody who has pretty much been with us since the very beginning of Nintendo, when we were in Nintendo Inquirer, and he joined us for our Customs for a Cure, the second annual one, but it was really kind of like the first really big marathon, a 24-hour marathon, and I felt so lucky to have him helping us. So whenever he does decide to join the team, I always consider him this almost like silent member of the Nintendo Wire team.
He's not going to be silent tonight.
No, he's not. Whenever he does join us, I get just the best flashbacks from way back when, and I get more excited to create new memories with him. So without further ado, here is TJ Harris.
How you doing, TJ?
Well, hello, friends. Hello, everybody.
You know, I think one of the fun things is, yes, we have more than one friend named TJ,
It's
and
true.
more than one TJ that works on the show, which is incredibly strange, isn't it? I do want to point out, though, before I'm going to let you do your a full introduction, but TJ just isn't a good-looking son of a gun. He is also the 2010 Summer Wii Championship. I completely... Did I botch that?
Yeah, no, it's okay. The Wii Summer Games, 2010.
The Wii Summer Games. I've seen the trophy. And it is spectacular.
And Jason has continuously tried to buy it or steal it from TJ.
One day.
I'll have to show it one more time. Let's see.
Please.
This is real, folks.
Ah, there it is.
We are in the midst of royalty.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's something that is irreplaceable. You will never be able to find something as unique.
It's pretty great. And a lot of credit goes to, it was a partners tournament, and my very good friend, Chris Mrozek, he was my partner in that, and we worked together, and we got the gold.
So can you, before we start talking about, because I think we should let everybody know here, too, that you attended the event with us yesterday, the Chicago Switch preview event, which was, I think the only word I can really use was kind of surreal. It was so cool to get our hands on hardware. But before we get into all of that stuff, because there's a lot of stuff to cover from what we got to get our hands on yesterday, I kind of want you to let everybody know what it was, what the Wii Summer Games were, how you got yourself into it. I mean, we're talking, this is very similar to, because I think most gamers understand like the term like the Nintendo World Championship. Yeah. That's something that has been like floating around forever. It seems like it was very similar to that. Am I right?
Yeah, it definitely was. It was a nationwide competition. I don't have any official numbers, but I heard it was like 250,000 like competitors nationwide. Basically, different areas around the country had the place where you can go and try out. Me and Chris, we went to our local Great America. We always laugh because we bought admission to Great America just to go, like play, and then we left. Like we didn't ride any rides. But
This
it
is
all
better
worked.
than any of that.
Yeah, no, it definitely is because then we went on the ride of our life.
The
But,
ride of your
Awesome.
life. I
Good way
like
to
that.
put it.
Yeah, so no, we got that, and then they flew all of the top competitors out to California, and they had a big tournament. If you've ever seen the movie The Wizard, I guess it was kind of like that. So that was a dream of mine, something as a kid I never thought was real. I always laughed because whenever Nintendo Power would show like competitors and like champions and stuff, I'm like, did that really happen though? Like, was that real? And yeah, then I got to experience it. So yeah, just a big tournament. Played a lot of different games. They had a scoring system for each game, and yeah, we won.
And it is real because I found the Nintendo Power where they mentioned you. By the
It
way,
is real. Did you think it was fake?
It was the Donkey Kong issue, if I remember, the Donkey Kong Country Returns issue.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep.
Yes, I saw the issue. I think it was during the first Customs for a Cure. I think I know that I saw it in person. Somebody had it.
I bought it.
That was it.
Yeah, I bought
That was
one.
it.
You got me
So-
a copy too. It was
Yeah,
very
that's
nice.
Yeah.
that's it. I bought it for him.
Oh, okay, that's what it was.
I was trying to find one for your partner too, but I could not find a second one.
Someday.
Oh, I think he's got one though.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's always great. Next, I think it's time to get into the fun part of the evening. The Nintendo news. And I know a lot of you are here for our hands-on impression with the Nintendo Switch, but you might notice right there on the bottom of the screen, wait, right that way?
Yeah.
On the bottom of the screen, we're showing some footage from Breath of the Wild. And yes, we are going to get into our impressions on our hands-on time that we had with Breath of the Wild. But there is some other information too, and that's the DLC that was announced for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And I don't think I've ever seen Nintendo fans so split before.
No.
It was either a combination of I'm incredibly excited
Yeah.
or oh my god, Nintendo is shamelessly, trying to steal our
Yeah.
money. And I've actually seen people say, I'm canceling my Switch pre-order. I'm
Yeah.
canceling my Legend of Zelda pre-order. This is BS. I honestly don't think it's all that bad. But before we go into our opinions on it, I think we should take a little bit of time to kind of discuss what it is. And it's more or less a season pass. So they're calling it the expansion pass.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool because you had the expansion pack on the N64, that red little RAM booster that let you play games at Majora's Mask. I think needed that one. Perfect Dark, another good example. I'm getting
Donkey
getting away
Kong
from
Country
myself.
came with it.
Very
Yeah.
true,
Yes.
and a great game at that. So it's $19.99. You cannot buy anything in the pack separately. So if you want anything in the pack, you need to buy all three things. The first thing you get is kind of a bonus. It's not technically the full DLC. You get some treasure chests. You get some in-game clothing. That's about it.
Yeah.
But again, those are bonuses, folks. Those are not things that you're paying for necessarily. Because I saw some people saying, "Oh, so you're paying money for like clothes." And
Yeah.
You're paying well, no, it's a free gift. It's very similar if anybody bought the Mario Kart 8 DLC
yeah.
pack.
That's some of the best DLC we've ever been given.
But yeah, if you bought that
agree.
pack, you got
Yeah.
Yoshi colors.
Yeah.
And that was not the DLC. That was like a little bonus.
Yeah.
And I think they had Shy Guy colors too.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it was just saying like, I know DLC's a little while out, but here you go. Thank you for buying it. To hold you over, here's some cool bonuses. And that's what I feel like they're doing there. But you have the the DLC pack 1, which comes with a hard mode, and it comes with like kind of like a Cave of Shadows type thing.
Yeah.
At least that's what I assume it is.
Yeah.
That we saw in oh my gosh, Twilight Princess HD. But the big thing comes in part 2, or the DLC pack 2, that comes out in the winter, and that's like the full-fledged brand new story. I'm guessing it's only like a little, one little segment of a story. It's not going to be like a whole new game. At least I don't think so. But that's
know.
it could be. It's very true, it could be. But that's going to be the big thing. But in my opinion, again, as being a diehard Zelda fan since, I can remember, anytime they're saying, here is a way you can expand your game, I get incredibly excited. So
Absolutely.
I am personally excited for the DLC. Happily Candied, I'm curious to see your perspective on
Yeah.
the DLC.
I love DLC because I think ever since Mario Kart 8, Nintendo's been doing it right. So I really think that this is another opportunity that the company is going to take to really give us something that's unique and something that's added. And it's up to you, the player, if you want it or not.
Yeah.
So if you don't want it, just don't get it. And I think that's the nice thing about it. It's a bonus for all of you like hardcore fans, which is you're definitely the target audience for that. And we saw that with the Mario Kart 8 DLC. We got new characters, we got new tracks, and every single time it was wonderfully themed. My favorite being the Animal Crossing edition that we got. We also got
Isabelle.
a nice Zelda edition. What?
Isabelle in Mario Kart is one of the strangest things I've ever seen.
It's not the strangest.
It's great.
It's
great.
one of the best things because she actually ended up replacing my longtime Princess Peach main.
And that's bizarre.
It was very strange to switch over, but it was wonderful to see Isabelle there, and I think that this is just another way for Nintendo to expand on something that's already pretty solid and pretty amazing. TJ, what do you think about this?
Well, I think DLC gets a bad rap, but it can be done right. I think Mario Kart is the perfect example, in my opinion, for the price. I thought that was one of the best DLC values ever. That content they added was incredible. It really seems like it wasn't done when the game was completed, and then they just, held on to it. I really think they did work on it after. More Zelda for me. I mean, hey, that's great. I just think the reason so many people are upset is because of the timing of it. We're so close to the release, but still not quite there. And then they announce, hey, we're going to add more content to a game that you don't even know how much content is in. So, so I really think it's the timing. Resident Evil 7 kind of did the same thing where their DLC came out like a week after the game came out, and everyone's like, well, hey, this could have been in there. But I think they could pull it off. I think they'll do it right.
Do you think that if they had waited maybe just like a month after the release, it would have been received a lot better then?
Yeah, I think so. I think, definitely for sure.
Yeah.
So here, I agree with you, and with Resident Evil and a lot of other and I'm not going to call out like PS4 or any like specific developers like on PS4 and Xbox One, but they announced their DLC pretty much on day one, and it's stuff that's already completed. And again, I understand, like, yes, they did announce it. Yes, you can already go on Amazon and you can already pre-order the DLC, which is kind of bizarre. But it's not the first pack. The first pack, it's not even the story, doesn't come out until summer. And the second pack, which is the main story, like the big meat and potatoes of this DLC pack, comes all the way out in winter of 2017. Yeah. So we're talking more than likely end of November, early December. So these are things that I'm guessing Nintendo is actively developing. Again, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but I always need to come back to Mario Kart. They announced both DLC packs for Mario Kart pretty far in advance.
Yeah.
Not before the game came out. Yes, I completely get that. But they said, these are the packs we're developing. You can pre-order now if you'd like, but they're not going to be out for a while. And it was a while before we got them. Again, we got the Yoshis as kind of like a way to say, okay, we can wait for it. But the other big IP that Nintendo has, again, Super Smash Brothers, they did something very similar. They let people know that we are going to be releasing DLC kind of in a steady stream for this game. And I don't have any reason not to trust Nintendo with DLC at this point.
Especially with the main series that they're hitting right now.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna be smart about it.
They've done it so well in the past, and they have not shamelessly done it. Again, I know that a lot of people have been comparing Nintendo to other game companies recently because they're making some decisions that we have seen from other developers in the past. And I'll be the first to admit, the first time I saw the Mario Kart 8 DLC, I was nervous.
Yeah.
I don't want DLC in a Nintendo game. I'm nervous because I was so accustomed to DLC in other games.
Yeah.
And it was mostly like a shameless cash grab. But again, Nintendo did it right. They did it right again with Smash. They did it right again with Hyrule Warriors. I am going to trust them until they give me a reason not to trust them.
Definitely. And they've been so smart, too, with everything that has been going on with the Switch. I would have liked to hear the official announcement about the Switch a little sooner.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think that the pacing has been very well done, and I trust them at this point.
Yeah. And I mean, and to talk about, that's another thing I thought about with the Mario Kart DLC. That wasn't added. What was it, $12.99, I think?
It was $11.99 for both packs.
So a lot of people that are complaining about the price of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, saying, how could they charge $60 again? I think a lot of people forget that the DLC content is included in there.
Yeah.
So really, they're taking a $72 game and making it $60 and still adding more content.
They are adding the Inklings.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget about that.
And luckily, we're going to get into that too later into
we will.
The newscast, because I think all of us got to play as the Inklings.
we did.
And I think it was a little bit embarrassing how bad I destroyed you playing. It was pretty. I was King Boo. I think you were an Inkling girl. It was a little bit brutal, but it was very, very good. But there you have it. If anybody wants to pre-order the DLC for the game, you can. I'm not saying you should pre-order this. It's something that you can wait as long as you want to get this. It's not like anybody's putting a gun to your head.
Yeah.
And the optional items and the bonus items you get ahead of time aren't like the coolest things ever. You get a Nintendo Switch t-shirt for Link. I'm assuming it's a t-shirt. They say it's a shirt, but it's a shirt with a Switch logo that Link can wear, which I think is something that I would never want him wearing in the game anyway, because it would just take me out of it too much.
One of our editors, Tom, actually came up with a mock-up of what he thinks the Switch shirt will look like. And I thought it was a very clever design, because really, if it is a Switch shirt, it's going to be probably pretty basic and simplistic in design. So.
I'm going to see if I have the shirt on my desktop right now. I thought I had a photo of it. If I find it throughout the newscast, I will post it.
But it was
good.
It was well done, and I think that gave us a nice idea, a look at what could come from the DLC.
So there you have it again. If you want it, it's already up on Amazon to pre-order. Otherwise, you can just pick it up pretty much on day one, or wait as long as you want. No one's putting a gun to your head, folks. My favorite meme I think I saw was a couple days ago. Nintendo New York tweeted out something like, "You can't get hit with a blue shell if you're never in first place."
That's funny.
And it was like Mario pointing, to his head. And somebody made one that said, "You don't have to order DLC if you don't want to." And that's just the thing I think everybody has to take away from it. If you don't want it, don't get it. It's content that they're developing after the game is done. At least that's my opinion on it.
Yeah.
So
it's a good way to look at it.
Now we get into the meat and potatoes of this. This is the Switch event from Chicago. There was so much stuff to cover. I played almost all the games. I didn't play Skylanders because I didn't want to waste my time.
No Skylanders, yeah.
So I'm gonna.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
Oh, good. I want to hear your impressions about it.
Yeah.
Well, they did Skylanders better. The Switch is probably the best way anybody could play Skylanders because you don't need the physical figure every single time you want to play anymore.
Yes.
So that's cool. But the other things we got to play were Snipperclips, which was outstanding.
I think that was your favorite.
That was one of my favorite experiences playing.
You got to play it in a really special way, too.
Yeah.
I did. We might as well just jump right into Snipperclips. Let's just go right into Snipperclips. On the screen right now, you guys can see some of the footage from my Snipperclips playthrough. I'm playing with a totally random guy.
Yep.
I actually found out that he is a fan of Nintendo Wire, and he actually sent us a question for the newscast.
Oh, that's awesome. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But I have to say, while we're on that note, it was really nice coming across so many people who follow Nintendo Wire there.
Yeah.
And it was a nice, way to start off the day.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But, oh my god, Snipperclips is such a flipping blast. Again, I never met the gentleman I played with before today, but we were able to play through all of the demo just fine. We were able to communicate with each other. And I think that's incredibly neat that you can just have a conversation with somebody you've never met and play a game like Snipperclips.
And the crowd was cheering you on.
That was helpful.
They were very into it. Even the people who weren't gathered up front watching you,
Yeah.
they were in the back and I could hear them going, "Ooh, oh no, yeah, you almost got it."
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun hearing people cheer you on.
So if anybody's not familiar with Snipperclips, this game was originally announced back in January when we had our big Switch event. And a lot of people just kind of brushed it off right away, saying, who cares? It's just like it looks kind of cheap, it looks kind of cheesy, but it is really neat. You have two characters. You're essentially you look like a little bullet, but you can cut pieces of each of your characters off to solve puzzles. So right now on the screen, you can see I'm the pink one. I have kind of a boat shape right now, and I'm trying to ease this tiny little wheel onto a motorcycle. So I have to work with my partner to get it done. And it's easier said than done.
I was going to say, how were the controls when you were trying to complete these tasks?
So you use the Joy-Con.
Yeah.
So you use one half of the Joy-Con, so either the L or the R. And you can twist it, which is neat. You utilize pretty much all the buttons, and the Joy-Con is such... Oh, God, it's going to sound so corny when I say it. It's such a delight. It's such a delight to use the Joy-Con.
Quote, Amiibo Jason.
Amiibo Jason. You can quote me. Put it on the presses, folks.
I want that on a shirt.
Yeah.
You should. It's a delight. The Joy-Cons are outstanding, and we'll get into more of what the Joy-Cons can do throughout this, but it felt great playing with the Joy-Cons on this game. You're about to see me beat the last puzzle in the game. Again, this was with the guy that I was playing with, and it was an absolute blast. But TJ, I know you played this too. You played with your wife, actually, right?
No, I tried to. But no, she played with a stranger, and then I got to play with, and then I got to play with one of the guys demoing it.
Okay.
So. But it was right before we were gonna demo Zelda. With the Zelda demo, you had a set like scheduled time that you had to go play that. So yeah, I only got to play for a few minutes, but from what I played, I mean, it's hilarious. Communication is absolutely key in that game, and hilarious results ensue.
I feel like this is going to be one of those games that's going to be a friendship tester, or a relationship tester. We were playing, this was one of the more advanced levels that we were playing. But again, it was still relatively easy for the most part. I can only imagine the kind of things that they're going to put people together, like doing, like when the game comes out, like what the what's the word I'm looking for? The later levels are going to look like.
Yeah.
And I'm a little nervous, Lauren. I'm a little nervous how we're going to communicate with this one. We communicate very well.
When it comes to games that involve teamwork, I think we work very well. I know that my favorite game to play with you was Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yeah.
And I think that this is going to be along those lines. So that's why I'm looking forward to this one. I enjoy this a lot more than competitive games with you because you like to gloat like a lot. So this one is a lot more fun because when you win, I win. And I like that idea.
Or if I lose, you also lose. And that's fine with me, too.
That's true.
I'm totally good with either one of those scenarios.
Yeah. Either way, it's fun.
The Nintendo Switch is already kind of gearing up to be one of these games that are one of these systems that just lets you have so many cool interactive experiences with your friends or your loved ones. There's another game coming out. Is it called Chicken Horse?
Yes. It's 3 words, though.
Oh, I can't remember the full name. Happily Candied with the internet. It was Chicken Horse something. Ultimate Chicken Horse.
That's
there you go.
Ultimate Chicken Horse is another one of these games that I can't wait to play with you because it's one of these multiplayer games where I feel like we're gonna like just strangle each other.
That wasn't available there though.
No, that was not. Yeah. So that was just announced. That's coming out sometime later this year.
Yeah.
So.
Before we move ahead, though, I want to just jump in a little bit to the presentation of the entire event so we can give people kind of like an idea of what we experienced, because it was handled so well. Like you can see even from the setup right here, that was the main stage, which was in the back of the big event room.
Yeah.
The venue, first of all, was gorgeous. It was extremely spacious. There was a lot of room to breathe. And it was decked from floor to ceiling with Switch-related content.
It was so cool.
You had posters dedicated to each game section, and each game section also had different types of lights to highlight the game. So like, for example, Splatoon was decked out in, I think it was like bright pink, bright green, and purple lights all over the place. And then you had, like the Mario Kart section. That was really cool because there were 2 areas up front showing the Mario Kart areas, and you had the option if you wanted to play Mario Kart in 2 different ways, and one was your screen was projected on one of the very big screens in the room, and it was really neat how this was set up. And then they had areas where you could pose with really cool giant figures, and there was Super Mario Odyssey was one of them where you could pose with them, and that was really cool. But I think one of my favorite things was when you walked into, everybody was let into the room, and all of the people who were working for the Nintendo Switch event were all clapping and cheering, and their enthusiasm was contagious. It
was like almost like a borderline, like somebody spiked the Kool-Aid type experience.
Because it was.
That's not a bad thing, though.
They
not a bad
seemed
thing.
Genuinely excited to have us there, and I was amazed with how beautiful the entire setup was, and that's including all of the people who are working there. It was a very welcoming experience.
Yeah.
It was definitely a really, really cool setup in general.
Yeah.
We have so much footage to show you guys throughout the entire event. Again, you've been looking at the Snipperclips footage. While you were talking, I kind of scrolled through some of the other footage that we have from the event. We have this big video that we're putting up. I'm guessing it's going to go up tomorrow. There's just so much footage that I'm going to be going through. Just so stay tuned for that. We have 2 videos already up on our channel. So if you're curious about maybe The Legend of Zelda or Snipperclips, we have both of those up right now, so you can check that out after the newscast. Don't leave now. Please, stay. But in a nutshell, that's pretty much Snipperclips. TJ, did you have anything else to add on Snipperclips?
Yeah, one thing to say, to let people know, they were only demoing that in tabletop mode. So they had like a table with 3 of the Switches in tabletop mode, so that's how you got to play. And man, that was a smart move, because that game completely sells tabletop mode.
Yeah.
Because it's co-op. You're both looking. It's a smaller screen, but you're both on the same screen. And it just works so well. That's one of the things I'm most excited for with the Switch, is just taking the handheld itself and then meeting up with a friend and going, hey, here's a Joy-Con. Let's play a couple puzzles.
Yeah.
And, Snipperclips or some Mario Kart races. It's awesome. It really works well.
Yeah. I think Nintendo was smart with the way they were marketing this with their commercials, because for the most part, even though you see individuals taking the tablet with them and out and about, there are just as many scenes, if not more, of groups of adults like huddling together and playing these party games together. And you definitely get a sense of that with all of the games that we saw there.
They did a very, very good job of giving us so many options, for sure. So, but yeah, that's Snipperclips. Again, if you guys want more information, check out our other YouTube video on that. I think we should just jump right into 1-2-Switch, because I think I have maybe the most to say about this game.
TJ, I know you have just as many fond memories of this.
Oh, yes.
TJ,
Absolutely.
I know you can't see this right now, TJ. I just want to apologize in advance.
Oh, no.
The footage that I'm using right now is us doing the milking the cow.
Oh, no, that's fine. No need to apologize.
You knew this was coming.
Now, yes, I'm wearing the cow hat. I have no shame in that. I wish they let me keep the cow hat. They would not.
Did you try?
I tried. I tried to get the cow hat. She's like, no, we need to keep that.
Oh.
That cow hat could have come in handy in so many situations. But 1-2-Switch was probably my second favorite game there. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It showed off what the console could do. It showed off the technology of the console.
Oh,
HD Rumble is real.
Amazing.
It is. It absolutely is.
It is worth its weight in gold. HD Rumble is so amazing. In the games that we got to play, we got to do Milking the Cow. We got to do one of the ball games where you had to guess how many balls were
I was
in,
you know what? I enjoyed that one, I think, the most.
The ball game?
Yeah. Do you know why? Because it was the HD Rumble. Like, it was so precise with. I mean, it's unbelievable with how they were able to capture the I guess simulating weight within a device, and it's not real, but it feels real.
It's crazy how HD Rumble feels, and you're totally right. It is a surreal experience, and you cannot get it until you actually pick it up.
Yes.
So I cannot explain to you how great it is until you guys try it. I wanted to give a little bit more time to 1-2-Switch because it got a lot of crap from a lot of people saying it's not worth it. It should have been a pack-in. 1-2-Switch is an outstanding game. I feel like it is worth the $50 price point. We got to play 4 games in total.
There are 28?
And there's 28.
Yeah.
And they did say that there is the opportunity that they could update the game with more games in the future.
Oh, so that'll happen.
1-2-Switch is definitely something that I feel like everybody should try at some point. The first thing I thought was, I could take this over to like a family get together and I could have fun with gamers and non-gamers in my family alike. And this is kind of like Wii Sports when Wii Sports came out, but it takes it to a different level. It has just more interactions. It has more like experiences to like kind of goof around with your friends and family. You can play these games any way you want to, and I'm sure many of you out there know exactly what I mean. Like they have the game where you have to pop the soda. I almost did the motion. I can't do the motion. You can milk the cow.
Can I point at something?
Go ahead. You can point it out.
if you look at the screen with Jason and TJ playing, it's not the motion that gets me, because that's what's gonna attract attention the most with most people. It's the intensity behind their eyes.
Yeah.
That, like, I couldn't stop laughing. I was filming that, and I'm just like, this is such an intense moment, and they're getting into this, and I love every second of it.
It was honestly a blast. And before I go into anything else with 1-2-Switch, I want to give TJ the opportunity to give his impressions of the game. You get to play with a stranger too, I believe.
No.
Or was okay?
No,
Lauren got to play with a stranger.
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, no, I only got to play the milking game twice. That was the only one I got to try.
You were very good at it.
I am the milkman. I even impressed myself. But yeah, I know my wife, she got to play the ball game, and I know a lot of the demos that they showed online of people playing that, they kind of hold it like in the palm of their hand and just gently kind of move it around.
Yeah.
But my wife said she held it almost like a bottle, and then she would hold it straight up and then just flip it over, and she said it was amazing. Like, it really felt like there were like marbles or something in there, and she could feel them dropping. Like, she got it right. And yeah, so that was cool. And the milking, oh man, gotta love that milking. It's like you can almost feel it. The whole thing just doesn't rumble. You can feel the rumble start at the top and then just make its way down. And once you get that rhythm going, get that milk, baby.
I need a minute.
People are quoting you in chat right now, TJ. I am the milkman. It's amazing.
I'm going to play this game with my friends. I'm going to play this game with my family, and it's going to get out of hand. It's going to get to a dark place, and I embrace it. And I can't wait. Nintendo knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
They had to have known what they were doing. And granted, not every game has that kind of feel to it.
No.
And the milking game, technically, it's only dirty if you make it dirty.
Other than that, it's supposed to be very innocent.
It's very innocent. You're milking a cow, folks, for God's sakes. It's not that bad. But it's great. It's 1-2-Switch is something I feel like everybody should at least try. It's what gaming should be. I mean, gaming is a way that you can get together with friends and family and have a good time and enjoy yourself. And I feel like 1-2-Switch could easily replace like board game night or game night with like a group of friends. So give it a chance. Give it a shot.
And even better, back to the days when the Wii remotes were first introduced, you're still being active.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You are getting up and you are participating and you are being active. You're not just sitting down the whole time. I think that's important, and that's something that I think Nintendo is proud of.
You're milking the cow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And like what I was saying before with Snipperclips, how you just need, or you can play it in tabletop mode. This is another game where you just take the two Joy-Cons and the tablet, you just take it to, a family member's house or a friend's house. That's all you need. You don't need to dock it onto the TV. Just prop it up right there, and you can play, I'm sure, most of those games, if not all. And yeah, it will get people playing that don't normally play games in the same vein as Wii Sports. You are totally right.
Yeah, and you don't already have to be into video games to enjoy this one. I think that's why you guys were talking about how it being so appropriate for family members, because no matter what generation you're in, whether you have played video games before or not, this is something that is going to be easy to learn immediately.
Yeah. And let's be realistic, too. I mean, if you're a gamer that doesn't really play with anyone else, you play on your own, nothing wrong with that. That's totally fine. This just isn't the game for you. But if you play with any friends or family members, it's definitely worth picking up. Even from the little that we played, I already know it's worth it.
We also got to play Quick Draw, which was fun. Lauren played that game with a complete stranger, and she had to stare this guy in the eye.
Let me tell you the awkwardness of this at first, and it wasn't even the staring part of it, because when we sat down, we each had Nintendo employees helping us individually, explaining what to do. And I think they explained things a little differently, because my guy was very honest with me. And he said, listen, it's very loud in here. You're not going to be able to hear when you're supposed to draw. So you might have to look towards the screen a little bit to see when you're supposed to draw. And I don't think the other guy who I was playing with, I don't think the girl told him that. So he's looking directly at me very intensely. And I'm looking at him and I'm kind of laughing because he's really into it, but I'm also glancing over at the screen because I'm like, I'm never going to know when to draw. So I won both times we
Yeah.
played against each other because I was the only one looking at the screen.
Because he was staring at you.
He was staring at
Right
me.
into your
and
soul.
I must tell you, it was a very uncomfortable experience at first, but I found it really amusing.
If you're watching, Guy, it's not your fault.
No, it wasn't your fault at all. It was just the very idea of staring at the stranger, because they tell you on the screen, you better look that person in the eye, and he was just following directions. So can't blame him for that.
But it's honestly, and I'm generally I don't like respond to people in chat when we're
Yeah.
doing these newscasts. Somebody who's saying it's not worth the $50 price point. I feel like it is. I really do. For 28 games and the amount of fun that I'm going to have with this, like over the span of, honestly, I'm going to beat Zelda at some point. I'm going to beat it, and it's going to sit in my shelf. And the DLC is going to come out, and I'm going to put it back. I'll pull it back off the shelf. I'll put it back in, and I'll play it again. But there is going to come a day, and it's going to happen pretty soon, because I'm going to power through Zelda very quickly, that I'm not going to play Zelda anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to be playing 1-2-Switch for years. I'm going to be taking it to every family get-together. It's going to be part of every game night. We're going to have a stream where Lauren only plays the milk game
Oh gosh,
and the soda game.
You've said that so many times now. It's making me nervous.
It's gonna be one of these things that I feel like we can get the most bang for your buck. So.
And let me point this out too. This goes for any type of hobby, and I always point this out when it comes to the 3DS, because
Yeah.
people are always saying, "What's better, the original 3DS or the XL or the new 3DS or the new 3DS XL?" And to each his own. That's what I say. So this
you
might
don't
not
want
be
it-
for you. That you might not feel this is worth the $50 for you, but hey, it's gonna be worth it to somebody else. So it's like that with every hobby, and it's going to be like that with every game and every console.
If you don't want it, don't buy it. But you can always come over to my house and play some milk game with me.
Yeah.
The milkman's going to be over on day one.
That's true. Yeah.
Wait, is it? You coming over?
Oh no, I don't know. We'll talk about that later.
All right, we'll figure that out. We'll iron out the details. But again, that's 1-2-Switch. That's coming out on March 3rd alongside the Nintendo Switch. It was an absolute blast. And one more time before we go with this one. HD Rumble is legit. It is legit. It's amazing. It's outstanding. If you have a chance to try it, try it. It's super cool.
Yep.
We had other games to talk about too. We could go straight into ARMS, or we can go into Mario Kart, depending on what you guys want to
ARMS
do.
first.
Let's go into ARMS.
Another new one.
ARMS is another game that when I first saw it, I wasn't overly impressed. I'm like, it looks okay. It looks like kind of a cheap, generic fighting game, and that was my first impression. And then I started seeing more of the trailers, and I started seeing more of the footage of it, and I thought it looked really cool. And then I played it, and it was awesome.
It was. It really was.
It is tactical.
Yep.
It is customizable. The characters are amazing. The stages are amazing.
It takes technique.
It does.
You really do have to be precise, and you have to be able to think ahead.
So we have some footage up here right now of two people that played ARMS pretty much at the event. They got brought onto the main stage to try the game out. It is a lot of fun. Yes, there is motion involved with it, but it's super subtle. I mean, it's like more of like something like this.
Yeah.
The button presses on it. There is the way you have to hold it. And the thing I think that like is my favorite thing about the Joy-Con is there's two buttons on the side. There's two buttons on the top, and then you have the buttons on the faces. So when you're holding it like this, you have access to 4 buttons off just right in that angle, and then you can kind of squeeze another button with your pinky.
Yeah.
So you have access to 5 buttons, technically, and you use all of those alongside the motion controls and ARMS to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I loved ARMS.
Yeah. I did too. I lost both times I played.
Who'd you play against?
Some stranger. I can't remember his name.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I still enjoyed it. There was something about it that was one of the most unique gaming experiences I have had. And the fact that you really feel like you can use subtle movements if you want, but I actually preferred making the bigger movements because you really feel like you are causing some form of action within the game then. It's a little bit more real the more force you use. And I liked that.
TJ, what was your thought? I saw that you played ARMS too.
Yes.
What was your initial thought of ARMS?
Yeah, ARMS, that was actually the first game I got to play. So, walked into the event, and ARMS was right to the right, immediately went over there, so I had to take a moment just to admire the Joy-Cons. for the first time, and the Joy-Cons did have the wrist strap with the like the added attachment on top. That really does make a difference. Just that little bit of extra like size that it adds to the Joy-Con, and then the buttons. It's great. Feels great in your hand. When you first start playing ARMS, it does just feel kind of like Wii boxing again, and you're like, okay, well, whatever. But then I was playing against my wife, and then I noticed she started picking up some strategies, so I'm like, okay, well, now I have to adjust how I'm playing. And then it was back and forth, and then by a few fights into it, I'm like, there is actually quite a bit of strategy involved. Not just with like the motion controls, but also with like the gloves that you pick. Every character, at least in the demo, had 3 different gloves, and you can mix and match the styles. One was like a boomerang that would kind of curve around. Another one was just like a really heavy hitter. There was like a trident one. But yeah, there's a lot of customization. They said the demo's a really small portion of what the full game's going to be. So yeah, it was a pleasant surprise. I had hope for it. I wasn't really excited for it, but after playing it, it's definitely one I plan on picking up.
I thought it was going to be a lot more simplistic too, because like at first when the girl who was helping us set it up, she started explaining like what you do as far as motion goes, and then the buttons that you press.
Yeah.
And then she kept going into more and more depth with the options that you had and the moves you could give. It was to me it was a lot more satisfying than anything like Super Smash Bros. Because for this one, I really felt that it was tactical. In a cooler way.
Yeah.
It was in a really cool way, and it does take skill.
And there were a few different stages. I think the stages were random.
Yeah.
But one stage, maybe I just missed it in some of the previews, but a lot of the stages they showed were just like a square arena, and you can kind of jump off the walls on the side. But one level was a long, not nearly as wide stage, and it was on a staircase.
Yeah.
So you could get like really far away from the opponent, then you have to go after them and stuff. So if that's just a small taste of like the different arenas that they're going to have, I think there's going to be a lot more variety than people think.
One of the ones that I saw, it was like an outdoors, but it was at night, and there was like these pillars that were set up that you could sort of like hide behind. I didn't get a chance to see it, but it looked like you could just like knock like the pillars down to like get to your like opponent. But there definitely is a lot more variety than we've seen so far. So I think this is going to be one that we're definitely want to keep keep an eye on.
Yeah.
It has a very Overwatch feel to it, like in
With
terms
the
of
character
like
design?
the characters and the music. Again, this is not a launch title, so I don't think we have seen the full roster yet. I think it's going to be a very big, diverse group of fighters, at least I hope, because 5-6 fighters isn't really enough. You need to have a lot more variety, and I think if they're going for the Overwatch feel, they're going to want to create characters that somebody feels like emotionally attached to. Yeah. So I think we're going to see some really, really cool things from this, and if it's not like a huge, like, major new Nintendo IP success, it's at the very least going to be a cult classic.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned to me a couple days ago that there's already a community of fans for it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that's pretty nice. I was pretty skeptical when I first saw it, just like you. But after playing it, I can see why people are so excited about it.
Yeah, for sure. So again, this is not a game that we're going to see at launch, but either way, I think that if you are a Nintendo fan, if you are a fan of the fighting genre, this is definitely something to pick up. And there's, again, multiple playstyles for this game, so if you don't want to use the motion controllers, from what I understand, you can use a Pro controller on this game too. So
yeah, they didn't have that demoed, but yeah, I'm curious to see how that plays in comparison.
Because that's going to be really interesting, because if they do turn this into more of an esports title, which it sounds like they're trying to do, I wonder if they're going to mandate it. Like, I wonder if they're going to say, like, you have to use motion, you have to use, like, the Pro controller. Because I would imagine most competitive gamers are going to opt for the Pro controller.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure it'll probably be Mario Kart style, where, like, if you are playing online, it will show that you're using motion as opposed to the standard controls. But, yeah, that's a good question about the esports side of it, though.
Some of the best players I've seen in Mario Kart 8 use the wheel.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law Sean, he is the best Mario Kart player I know, and he is just straight wheel. He will not play any other way, and it's seriously impressive how good he is at that game with the wheel.
That's amazing.
I suck at it.
I'd like to see in person somebody who's an expert with the wheel go up to somebody with just a controller and see what the skills are for each one.
You gotta try it online. If you play online, I've seen cases where like the people with the wheel just smoke everybody else.
Yeah.
But we got to play with the wheel for Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So we can actually jump right into Mario Kart 8 right now. You actually got brought on stage to play Mario Kart 8.
Yes, to showcase my skills. That's right.
So cool.
And you won, didn't you?
I did. I showcased my skills by beating a very young boy. He was probably like 6 or 7 years old.
Good job.
Wonderful.
Hey, in all
I bet
fairness,
you're proud.
in all fairness, I was planning on letting him win. I was going to say, okay, if he can keep up, I was going to slow down at the end. He held his place in 6th for a while, and then that third lap he dropped to 12, and I'm like, no, I'm just going to go for it.
I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah. Good for you, TJ.
But then I did get to redeem myself, though. I did have to put my skills to the test. They brought up another guy, an older guy this time, and he was very intimidating, and the first thing he asked me on stage was which button is to go.
Oh.
Yeah. So I thought he was faking it, but no, he wasn't. He was a nice guy, though.
That's good. Sounds like a good experience.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was a fun game. It was definitely one of these titles that I feel is worth its worth its place at the table on the Nintendo Switch. And I know a lot of people were a little bit disappointed it wasn't Mario Kart 9.
Yeah.
I still think they should have added at least a few new tracks, if not like one more Grand Prix. Adding just battle mode courses, I feel like was not quite enough.
Yeah.
But it's still a good value. If you're a Mario Kart fan, if you don't own Mario Kart 8, or if you just want to like have a portable version of one of the best Mario Kart games that have ever been released, it's definitely worth it. And the Inklings were cool.
Yes.
And the play style options are cool. You can see right now on the screen, I opted for the Joy-Con in each hand approach. And it's comfortable. Oh my God, is it comfortable to play? I got to play this game in tablet mode.
Yep.
I got to play it with a wheel. I got to play it with a Joy-Con, and then I get to play it with Joy-Con in each hand. And that is my favorite approach. Like, there's no cable between the two. It's kind of like having the Wii remote in one hand and the nunchuck, and you can just be on the couch like super lazy, like one hand down here, controlling in the other. It's super, super comfortable.
Yeah.
And you got a chance to try that too, and I was curious to see what you thought of it.
It's kind of funny because I felt bad about this. After we played it, somebody in another booth, one of the workers there, asked me, "Oh, what's your favorite game you've played so far?" And my answer was, "Oh, I really liked Mario Kart." I felt bad for saying that because it's not a brand new game. It's something that we've already seen before. It just really added the battle mode and some new characters. So it wasn't something entirely new. And I'm sure she was used to hearing, "Oh, Zelda and ARMS." And the only reason why I didn't say Zelda was because I played it before, and to me, because it's only been limited to the demo version, I didn't have a feel for the full experience. So I know what Mario Kart 8's about, and there was something very satisfying about playing it on the Switch. And my favorite way to play it, because I played it 2 ways, and that was with the tablet, and that was also with the wheel. And when I used the wheel, I did not use the motion controls for turning. I just used the buttons. I'm old-fashioned that way.
Old-fashioned.
But I enjoyed the tablet the most. And I think that's how I'm going to play most of my games on there. Although I wish I would have been able to play with just the Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
Because I would have liked to see how that felt too. So hopefully I'll be able to try that soon when we do have a Switch of our own.
Yeah. And just a heads up on this too, the demo stations for Mario Kart 8 were super, super cool. We talked about this a bit at the beginning of the newscast, but you had like a diner experience where you could like sit at a table at a diner and play. Where I am right now is they had a cockpit of a passenger airline where I'm sitting in like an airline seat with a tray table down and playing Mario Kart.
Yeah. And the windows were actually screens, and you could see clouds flying through the screens. So you were supposed to be in the sky.
So they kind of pulled out all the stops with this one for sure. By default, I kind of just played as the new characters because I've played as all the other ones before. The Inklings are cool. I hope I have at least one shot of like doing a jump with the Inklings, because if you jump with the Inkling, it turns into the squid, which is super neat. It's kind of like a really kind of a fun transition if you're playing the game.
Yeah. TJ, what are your thoughts on Mario Kart?
Yeah, so Mario Kart, I have some of the people I probably game with the most online are some friends and family, and they live all over the country. And the one game that we've probably played together the most is Mario Kart 8. Like, I kind of wish I did my research and looked at my log of how many hours I put into Mario Kart 8 on the Wii or Wii U. So I was excited for it because, we love it, and I'm like, hey, more Mario Kart, new way to play it, that's great. But yeah, it was still that feeling of, okay, well, it is ultimately a game, I played before. But I have to say, walking away from the event, my favorite experience was playing it in one of the settings they had. It was like an old-fashioned like diner setting. And they had a table with a booth, and they had 4 of the Switches in portable mode. So it's just 4 people sitting around at a table playing multiplayer together. And there was just something that felt so special about that. And just knowing that, like, this is now a portable Mario Kart. Like, Mario Kart 8 is the portable version. Like, just going back to Mario Kart on 3DS and then comparing it to this, like, it's night and day. But yeah, there's just something about it. It felt great. It ran great. I was not thinking I would walk out of the event going Mario Kart was my favorite thing there, but it really was.
It was? Okay, so I wasn't alone in that.
No,
then.
you were not.
Okay, that's really good to hear then. It was a cool experience, and I'm honestly excited to play more of this when the Switch comes out.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how they're going to do the unlocks. I wonder if you're going to have to unlock everything again, or maybe like half of it will be unlocked, and then you have to unlock the rest. I'm curious to see how they do that.
I think it's all going to be available right away.
I think so too.
I don't think they're going to do that.
No, yeah. Only because like they're not giving us a brand new game. So that said, I can't imagine them releasing things little by little. I think we'll get it all in one chunk.
It's kind of like Marvel vs. Capcom when they came out with the Ultimate version. Everything was just ready to go.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But yeah, I have a feeling everything's going to be unlocked from the get-go. But it was a blast. It definitely is a fun game. But I do want to talk about Battle Mode real quick, too, because Battle Mode was something I never spent a lot of time on in general.
What about the classic Mario Karts?
Even with the classic Mario Karts.
Did you have family members who played with you?
No.
Okay, that's probably why. That's the only reason why then.
It was more, I was more competitive in the racing aspect of it.
Yeah.
But this was my first time playing Battle Mode in Mario Kart 8. And I know that sounds weird because I've played the game a lot.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was really cool playing in the Splatoon level.
Yeah.
It was really well done. There's like ink spots like all over the course. If you go into it, it makes your car slower. One cool thing, in Mario Kart 8, could you collect unlimited bombs too? Or was that something that's like brand new for this?
I think that's new. I didn't play a lot of Battle Mode. TJ, do you remember?
I'll be honest, I purposely never played one match of Battle Mode.
Okay.
We're in the same boat.
Yeah.
I did play Battle Mode, but I was so disappointed by it in Mario Kart 8 that I didn't play it much. I was a huge fan of it when I was younger because I played it just as much with my mom and my sisters that we did with the racing.
Yeah.
So I was very familiar with it back then, and I wanted dedicated Battle Mode courses. Like, that is so key to it. So when we were on regular tracks playing Battle Mode, it was a complete turn off.
Yeah.
Was that for Double Dash they did that?
Oh, I was saying just for this last one. But
okay.
Probably. It was, I didn't want to play. I just remember I've talked to many people about this, and you could just never find anybody you're playing with on the tracks. This one, you're almost forced to in a confined space, in a space that's dedicated specifically for battling each other. So it was nice being able to see people, and there is definitely a tactical level to it, only of course not as tactical as other games, but still, it was very well done, and I liked the idea of having the unlimited bombs.
Yeah, it was definitely fun. I'm kind of bummed it's not a launch title, but you know it's done. This game is ready to go. It's ready to ship. But again, I think Nintendo is staggering, or just their release schedule, so they have new content coming out kind of on a steady basis. They don't want to repeat the same thing they did with the Wii U, where it was months and months and months before a steady release or before a decent release. So I think Nintendo knows what they're doing with this, and I think it's going to be well worth the wait. And it's going to give me time to complete Zelda, which I think is the big thing.
That's really why they're doing it.
That's what it's for me.
Yeah, it's for you.
It is. It's all for me.
It's all for you.
Miyamoto has said that.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
He was at the event. I don't know if you guys saw him or not.
Oh, yeah, I totally missed that.
He and TJ text each other quite often.
He was joking. He was not at the event, just in case you guys were wondering.
But Reggie was.
No, Reggie wasn't there.
No, Reggie's cousin was, I think.
Reggie was too busy eating cookies again.
Yeah, that you sent him.
But Mario Kart 8 Deluxe comes out on April 24th on the Nintendo Switch. It's an absolutely fantastic, fun game. If you have the opportunity to try it at a demo event or maybe at a GameStop before it launches, check it out. I think it'll kind of surprise you.
Yeah,
a
it
bit.
really will. Surprise me.
So we have one more major game to talk about. Then we have some other minor games I'd like to kind of give a little bit of detail on. But we have Breath of the Wild, which is one of the most fun experiences I had at the event. It is such a cool world, and this is the second time I got to play the game. I played it on the Wii U at E3 last year, and this is the very first time I got to play it on the Switch. I did a little bit more exploration on this one. They gave us 20 minutes at E3, but the demo was broken up into two areas. You had the main area, you got 10 minutes to play there, and then the demo stopped, and then you had another area, you had 10 minutes to play there. For this one, they gave me 20 minutes to play, and they just said, go knock yourself out. So the first thing I did is I ran to the Temple of Time, and I'm like, I want to see if I can scale it. So
you did.
I did. So I climbed all the way to the top of the Temple of Time, which you can kind of see in the video here. Found a cool bow at the top. Tested the bow out.
Exciting?
It was fun. I think you can see some footage of how I played this game too. I played it in tablet mode. I played it in docked mode. I played it with the Joy-Con dock. And again, I played it with the Joy-Con separated. I'm going to say it again. Playing it with the Joy-Con separated is so comfortable.
It was really fun to hear how excited you were.
I was
when you
so
took them out,
excited.
and you're like, wow, there's so much flexibility and there's so much range when it comes to like how I can sit and how relaxed I can be.
So much more room for activities.
For activities.
Yeah.
So many activities.
Well, that actually brings up a question I wanted to ask you guys. What did you guys think of the Joy-Con grip? So the one that comes included with the system. Did you get to play with that?
Yes.
Did you say? Okay. What were your thoughts on that, like quality-wise?
It was light.
Yeah.
The very first thing I noticed, because the Joy-Cons are light on their own, and when you have one in each hand, that's nice. It's kind of a benefit to have a light controller. But when you have it like a standard game controller, it was a little off-putting at first how light it was. But I got used to it really, really quick. But then I got to play with the Joy-Con charging grip, which does not come with it. It's the one that you have to buy that you can actually charge it with.
Oh, they had that there?
Yes, they had that there at one station.
Oh, okay.
And that has a battery pack in it, and it added a little bit more weight to it, and it felt more comfortable that way.
Oh, you like the more weight?
Yeah, I like I like a little bit more weight when it's in that mode.
Okay.
But it wasn't uncomfortable at all. And Nintendo was gracious enough to have a Pro Controller there, the grip there, the charging grip there, the standard Joy-Cons. So I got to play in every single play style, and I can do whatever I want in this game. If I feel like I want to use a heavy Pro Controller, I want to play like a normal dude, like if my guy friends are over and I need to have some street cred, I'll whip out the Pro Controller.
Of course.
If it's just me and Lauren, I'm just going to plop on the couch, undock the Joy-Cons and just kind of lay there like this and play it like that.
Oh, just like that.
Like that.
Okay.
Yeah, do whatever I want. But Nintendo has given players so many choices.
Yeah.
So many different choices to play any way they want to play. And I think that's going to be what is going to kind of make Nintendo the winner of this controller war, if you want to call it that.
War, yeah.
Because it's not a Wii U, it's not like a Wii controller. It's not a Wii U gamepad. It's not forcing you to, like, you have to play this way. They're giving you so many different options.
And let me say this, too. The connectivity between all of these devices, maybe except for the Pro Controller, which is completely separate, but with the dock and the tablet and the Joy-Cons, seeing you attach the Joy-Cons to the tablet and then put it in the dock, you did that over and over. I don't know if you realize that. You did that over and over again because you thought it was so cool, and it really was cool, and it was super easy to do.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say one thing with that that I think a lot of people overlook or not really a lot of people talk about. Say you're playing in portable mode, you got the two Joy-Cons attached, then you want to dock it. As soon as you dock it, the game will stop and it will ask you what controller you want to use. So you can immediately dock it and then grab your Pro Controller and just start picking up that way. You don't have to like sync it again or anything like that. and vice versa. And I thought that was a really, really cool attention to detail, because I'm sure we all know syncing Wii remotes back in the day was kind of a pain at times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just a little
Especially
bit.
taking them to people's houses and stuff. But yeah, that's one little detail I don't think a lot of people know about.
And if anybody's curious, it was 2 seconds. It was probably less than 2 seconds from when you docked it into when it would come up on the screen, or when you would undock it and you would have access to it on the tablet. It was so quick. Like everything about like the flexibility you have when playing games, they're not BSing you in the ads. It is quick. It is easy. Snapping the Joy-Cons out is just seamless. And like Lauren said, I might have enjoyed it a little too much.
It was so funny. I have so much footage.
It's like click,
I know.
click,
well,
click.
It's also fun hearing the little click in there. Like the commercials are not kidding. It's so smooth and it's quiet, but it's really fun to hear that little snap when you put it in the dock.
Yep.
And I just saw you get so excited over and over putting it into the dock. And TJ, I'm sure you felt the same way.
Oh yeah, no, I did, and that was one thing that was really reassuring. There's no like wiggle when you have the Joy-Cons on there. It feels like a solid device, almost to the point where you would think those wouldn't come off.
Wow.
So yeah, everything is built. The build quality of everything is probably what surprised me the most. Everything just feels so good. I was a little disappointed with the Joy-Con grip. That's why I brought that up.
Okay.
Because it's a different plastic. Like the handles on it are a different plastic than what the Joy-Cons have. So that's probably one thing I wasn't too keen on. But that is how I ended up playing the Zelda demo. And after a few minutes, you just get lost in that world and you completely about it. So
I'm gonna give you guys a little sneak peek at a video that I haven't shown anybody yet. It's a little kind of like a little demo of how the controllers work in Breath of the Wild. So I'm just gonna throw that up here super quick. And yes, I'll turn the audio down. So stand down.
Stand by.
Stand by, not stand down.
are you turning the audio down because it's you going, oh my gosh, look at this, and you can undock it and you can dock it?
More or less. But I have some audio playing now, so I'm just gonna let them hear it real quick.
Which is down here, which is in the Switch dock. I'm going to show you guys a few things real quick before I start playing anymore, because I'm wasting my demo time, but that's okay. I really want to get this going though. I'm going to show you how easy it is to undock these things. There's a button right here on the back that lets you detach the Joy-Cons. It's super, super easy. You can actually play the game without having it docked, without having it on there. You can just hold it like at your sides and start playing. It's super easy. But I know the big thing you guys want to see is the tablet itself. We're going to show you how to add these things on it. It's super simple. It's just 1, 2, 3. It pulls right up. Super easy. I gotta hold the microphone, don't I? But there you have it. I mean, it's super easy. Here's the dock. See if you can get like maybe a little look inside the dock itself. There we go. There's the Switch dock. Again, it's just connected through an HDMI cable directly to the TV. If you actually look inside the dock, right here on top, you'll see the connectors that have it. And on the other side, there are 2 USB connections. We're not going to take the camera over there. I mean, they're just USB connections. But I'm assuming that's going to be for a plethora of different accessories that you can pick up for it. But if you want to put it back in, it's super easy. And 1, 2, it's already back on the TV. It honestly takes less than like 10 seconds to do it. There we go, we're back in business. So that is the quick grand tour. We're going to be showing you guys more stuff.
There you go. There you go.
Yay.
Yay! I did it!
Good job, Jason.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I need all the help I can get. But that's a really quick tour of the controller. We're going to have a little bit more video footage up sometime tomorrow again with all of that in there. But it's so easy and it's so nice and it's so just fun to do it. I know not all of that has to do directly with Zelda, and I will tell you my impressions of Breath of the Wild, and I want TJ to give his as well. Yeah. But I think it really helps to kind of sell it, letting you guys know how amazing the controllers are in this game. There's so much variety to it. So if you had any fear, any just kind of concerns with the Joy-Cons itself, they are so much better than I could possibly kind of convey to you. So when you guys pick it up for the first time, you'll definitely know what I mean. So
Yeah.
when it comes to Breath of the Wild, the demo was very, very similar to the one that I played on the Wii U. There are a few things I noticed right off the bat. I felt like the draw distance was a heck of a lot better. The first thing I saw was when you kind of run out of the that little isolation chamber that you were in, or the sleep chamber, whatever you want to call it. You got to see so much of the world right off the bat, and I don't remember seeing that much detail on the Wii U version. When you undock it, it looks the same. It looked exactly the same. Now, did I have it under a microscope? Absolutely not. But it looked so great. Like, the idea that I get to go... I'm probably going to go places when I don't even need to go places. I'm going to be like, Lord, I'm going to the park. I'm just going to go to the park, and I'm going to play Breath of the Wild. And it's just such a cool experience to know that I could take a game of this caliber anywhere with me. Yeah. But it looked just as well undocked as it did docked. The items are really cool. They break very easily. I broke like 3 items in the 20 minutes that I had. But it was super cool. I have a big club out right now, and you generally can like kill 2 guys with it before it breaks. I found a bow. The bow is super nice. The bow uses like gyroscopic controls to aim. You don't need to use those, but it works great. Yeah. Like, it works super nice if you want to. There's so much attention to detail in this game. I think Nintendo really just polished it in the 2 years that they delayed it.
Which is a good thing. It makes that wait so much more worth it.
I heard in the demo you could find a Guardian. I did not.
I thought
we saw a dead or an inactive Guardian at the very beginning. There's actually one then right here on our left right now.
Because I remember you pointed it out to me.
Yeah. But apparently you can find like a real living, like, I'm going to mess you up Guardian in the demo. And unfortunately I did not do that. But TJ, what was your experience with this? I know you were not at E3, so this was your first time playing.
Yeah. And really quick before I jump into that, I saw in the chat that TJ was talking about the kickstand and how he said he's thinking about possibly removing it in fear that his kids might snap it off. Another detail about the kickstand that I don't think a lot of people know is it does come off. Like, I think because you can have the kickstand out, and if you go to dock it, it's going to snap, and I think it purposely snaps off, and you can reattach it easy. That's nice. I know a lot of people are kind of worried about that, but yeah, no reason to worry.
There was one video that I saw online of a guy who was at a Switch event, and he went to redock it, but the kickstand was out, and it went flying into the air. It was absolutely spectacular. But it's good to know, because I thought, he broke it. But it sounds like it just clips off.
Yeah, it clips right back on, so nothing to worry about there.
The more you know.
But yeah, Zelda impressions, though, there was that part of me that almost didn't want to play it, because we are so close. Yeah. I've seen a lot of the footage and stuff, but how could you go to a Nintendo event and not play the new Zelda? I mean, let's be real here. Yeah. I remember going into the demo, like I mentioned earlier, you had to sign up early, so you get a ticket, and then they would give you like a set time to go back, and then you play for 20 minutes. It was a 20-minute demo. So I remember going into it thinking, okay, I'm going to play with this controller, I'm going to play with just the Joy-Cons, like kind of do what you did. Yeah. And I got so lost just in that world, just like exploring, that was probably the fastest 20 minutes of my life.
It was quick. I thought I broke the game.
Yeah, I couldn't believe when it ended because it was so fast. So I didn't get to try a lot of that other stuff. But yeah, the game, I'm so happy that Nintendo, it's this giant world, and they've only been showing this very small portion of it. Even after what they showed at E3, a lot of the stuff now is still the same. But I think that is for the better, because the game's going to have so many surprises in it. And just looking at that map, even the small portion that you got to play in felt huge.
Yeah.
Huge, and it's so small compared to the rest of the game. So it felt great. It still feels like Zelda, but there are enough differences to where it does feel new. I know some people don't like how easily the weapons can break, and supposedly they said that there are no like permanent unbreakable weapons in the game. Who knows though? I mean, if you get the Master Sword, potentially. But it when you have the weapons break that easily, it causes you to experiment. you might not like playing with axes in games or spears. That might not be your typical go-to weapon in a game, but you're kind of forced to in this. And then you might find things that, you might have never found otherwise. So I think it's a very smart direction to go in.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like, I would never play with a bow, but I found a bow and I'm like, oh my God, a bow. I have to try this.
Yeah.
So it's definitely getting you to play in ways that you never thought you'd play before.
Yeah.
So,
That's what I like about it. It's not linear like with all the other Zelda games. You're not forced into this one storyline. You have options. You have an open world to explore. If you don't want to do a part of the story, if you don't want to do a mission, you just want to explore because you haven't found every nook and cranny, that's what you can do. And you can experiment with different weapons and different tools along the way. And I think that's definitely the most the thing I'm excited about the most.
Oh yeah. And the demo, I'm pretty sure it was the very beginning of the game. And when they say, like, you leave that cave and you go wherever you want, they're not lying. They're not exaggerating. You can go in any direction, do whatever you want. It's awesome.
And seeing the Temple of Time in, like, that state of, like, disrepair is just so cool. It's so much nostalgia in general. Being a lifelong Zelda fan, I know TJ got a chance to play it when we were at E3, and I know he might have had a little bit of a different opinion on, like, the layout of it. But it's still really cool. I'm incredibly excited. We are, a week and some change away? About a week and a half away now?
Yeah, just about.
Yep.
But we'll just say 2 weeks. We're 2 weeks away.
And like you said, if they're showing you the ruins of the Temple of Time at the very beginning of the game, I can't even imagine what else is hidden in the rest of that world.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Again, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. In case you don't know already, comes out on launch day, March 3rd, 2017, a little under 2 weeks away. We can't wait to share more of this game with you. We have so much coverage planned just for this game. So stay tuned to Nintendo Wire for all that. Those are the main games we played, but I do want to give a little bit of love to some of the smaller games on the floor. One of those games being Street Fighter 2. That was the only game I got to play with the Pro Controller. I couldn't find the Pro Controller at any other booth except for Street Fighter. Did you see it anywhere else?
I think Bomberman had it.
Okay.
They had a mix of the Joy-Cons and the Pro Controller, and I did get to play Puyo Puyo Tetris with the Pro Controller as well.
One.
I missed that.
We actually did miss quite a few booths. We hit the main ones, and we hit like one or two small ones, but we did miss quite a few.
But go ahead.
I was going to say, it's so overwhelming because I'm sure a lot of gamers can relate when you have for example, a big back catalog of games. You have so many things to play that some days you end up not playing anything. That's kind of how it was here. It was so open and there weren't really any lines or anything. They had that many demo stations where you didn't really have to wait that, you do kind of get lost because you have all these options and then, you're just admiring the setting and stuff. So you would think that you'd play everything, but it was really easy to miss some stuff.
Yeah, well, especially because like after a while, after people kind of like went their own ways, because you had so much time, people actually let you play for a little bit longer if you wanted to. So having that option, I wanted to sit and play longer, or at least watch other people play longer. And it's like you said, it's easy to get lost in the games there. And while we're on the smaller games, Street Fighter was one of my favorites there.
That's bizarre to me.
It was so much fun because I did spend some time playing when I was younger some arcade games, and the style that it had, it took me back. It took me back, and just like I said another game earlier, like ARMS, and I said it was very satisfying when you punch somebody. That's exactly how I felt when I played Street Fighter. I had more fun playing that than I have Smash the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Because there's a little bit more of the punch to it, and you see the reaction. There's an action and a reaction, and the characters aren't minuscule on the screen, and you're squinting to follow all the characters. You have the two fighters up close, and the way their movements are they're solid, and they're a little jagged, and there's something to me about that is not just reminiscent, but it's cool how they're able to bridge that gap between old school and modern games.
I just want to know what it's going to cost, because
I'm curious too.
it looks almost identical to the version that I played Let's see, on Xbox 360 when they re-released Street Fighter 2 HD. Granted, yes, I know this is a first-person mode in Street Fighter. I get that. I've seen footage of it. We actually put some footage up on our YouTube channel of that too. So if you want to see footage of that, you can see the first-person mode in action. But I'm curious to see if it's going to end up being like a $50 or $60 game, because if it is, I'm probably going to pass. But I guess we'll see. But the Pro Controller was cool. It was definitely, it felt nice. It felt pretty much the same, except without that glossy feel to it, as the Wii U Pro Controller.
Thank goodness.
So
Gloss.
Oh yeah, it definitely felt good in the hand. I had no issue with any controller layout that Nintendo gave us at all. It was the first time I picked up any of these things, and it felt very natural in every single case.
I love the Pro Controller. I think that's one reason why I liked playing Street Fighter, because it was my only experience with the Pro Controller. And we posted one photo of it, but the design of the Pro Controller, it's very basic, the overall, the button layout and everything. But what you don't get to see in a lot of the photos, that if in certain lights, they actually have this really awesome embossed like imprint over the top of it, and there are small designs printed all over it, and that's not something that I've seen on a lot of Nintendo controllers.
I was under the impression that was just transparent, and that was the innards of the actual.
Really? Is it really?
I think it's transparent.
Really, because I could actually you could feel the impressions on there too, which was pretty cool. Yeah, because I spent some time like looking at it in the light and like just studying it. And it was a lot of fun.
I heard there was 2 versions of it coming out, but I've only seen one go up for pre-order. I heard there was like the solid matte one that they showed off in like the very first trailer, and then there was like more of the transparent one. But I guess we're gonna have to wait to see what's gonna go on with that one. But again, that is a majority of the games that we had the chance to play with at the Switch event in Chicago. All 3 hours of the event went so flippin' quick.
When you said we only had less than an hour left, I was in shock over it.
It was crazy, but near the end, it kind of like slowed down a bit, so it wasn't like, I didn't feel rushed at any point. The people there were great. Nintendo, as always, are absolutely fantastic. If you have the opportunity to hit the event in Chicago tomorrow, try it. It is the day that you can just go and wait and line up and try to play it. Again, if you have the opportunity, definitely do it.
Yeah. You might not be able to hit every single one very timely, because I think a lot of people are really excited about going, and I think people were confused when they heard that we were going on Friday, because that was the more closed off event. So definitely expect probably a little longer wait times, and enjoy every single game that you play if you get a chance.
It is so good.
Well, actually, one of the reps that I was talking to there, I'm pretty sure they're letting in the same amount of people on the public day. So they're not going to overcrowd it. So
get there early.
It's more of a matter of getting there early for sure.
Okay. At least it's nice out right now, and you have that going for you if you're going to wait outside.
Beautiful weather, yes.
Now, before we go, though, did you have one more thing you wanted to say?
I see. Now, this goes along with what I was saying before, where being at the event, I was surprised how many different games they had. I was not expecting there to be that many. They had, like, Sonic Mania there. They had Fast Neo Racing. They had, like Puyo Puyo Tetris, like we mentioned, just a huge variety of games, so it was hard to get to all of them. But just like in the chat, I know people are asking, it's hard for us to, get to everything here. But one game that we missed was Splatoon 2. We did not talk about it.
Oh my goodness gosh. Splatoon 2. And the funny thing is, I actually have Splatoon 2 footage right here. How could I possibly forget Splatoon 2?
Maybe it was because we flickered to it for just a moment.
Yeah, that's true. We did.
That's probably why.
That is the scene of like the giant squid amiibo that you can see right there. Oh my gosh, Splatoon 2.
I know. And you got a good amount of time with that too. And you had to play with, I think it was an 8 group.
Yes. So Splatoon 2 was set up in a couple different ways. I was lucky enough to sit in a group of 8 guys. And you can kind of see it right here, and this was in the LAN mode, so it is so great. The 8-player LAN mode in Splatoon 2 is absolutely fantastic. I had an absolute blast playing it. There's a few questions I know people had about Splatoon 2, how it felt, did you have to use the gyroscopic controls, how the LAN worked. All of it was great. As far as the gyroscopic controls, you could turn that off. You don't need to use them. I opted to use it, and I was first place in both matches I played.
Nice.
and our team won in both cases too. So I was really, really feeling how great this game was. It's definitely fun. It's definitely one of these games that I'm going to pick up on day one.
Yep.
I feel like it feels very similar to what I already know. So I'm not overly worried that this is going to be something that is going to be like just, okay, they threw a two on it. They added some new weapons. They added some new courses. So I think it's going to be great.
Yeah. And that's another game I got to play with the Pro Controller. And to answer anyone's questions about how the motion controls work with that, works awesome. I know you're limited to the gamepad for the motion controls on Splatoon 1, but yeah, on the Pro Controller, it feels totally solid. They nailed it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Even playing in tablet mode, I mean, it felt like just buttery smooth. Everything about the game felt great. Playing it on a tablet, I know some people were very concerned about playing a lot of like AAA games like in tablet mode. It felt great. It felt just as good. I probably played that game better in tablet mode than I would have on a TV. There's something about having like that personal space, like right in your face, that it's my favorite way to play Splatoon so far. But again, I was playing with the Joy-Cons. I was playing with the motion controls. I thought it felt great. I thought the new weapons were great.
Yeah.
Every single power-up in this game is brand new from the ground up. So they're not repeating any power-ups from the previous game. So I had one that kind of like turned into like almost like a cluster bomb. And it just went off all around me. Ooh, I almost hit you in the face. Went off like all around me, and it was outstanding anytime I had it. So I had a blast with it. I want to know what kind of Amiibo support we're going to get for this. There's one thing that I noticed, and they had kind of like, hopefully we can pan out and see it again. I'm sure that you'll show it. There was the giant squid like Amiibo statue up front.
That was the coolest thing.
But you might notice that it was pink.
Yes.
And there is not a pink squid Amiibo. So I'm thinking that might be a little spoiler. That might be a little hint that might be the squid that's going to be in the next bundle.
I really hope so. That's the best one.
But yeah, it was an absolute blast. It was really fun to play. When you played with the Pro Controller, like, were you playing with a group of 8 people too, or was it just like, okay.
Yep. So, go on.
Overall, did you have a chance to play it in tablet mode, or was it just the Pro Controller?
No, just the Pro Controller. That was the only way I got to play it. Okay.
I would have loved to see like your impressions to see which way was better. However, I think would you say that it was very similar to playing just like Splatoon 1 on the TV?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it feels like Splatoon with just even a little bit more polish. Not to say that Splatoon 1 was unpolished, but yeah, it just... the graphics are even a little bit better, a little bit more detail. The new weapons felt great. I played with the dualies, although I couldn't remember how to combine the crosshairs.
Yeah.
I asked the guy running the demo, and he said, "Oh, well, they don't have that in here. This is just the demo. It's not the final game." But I'm like,
okay.
I don't think that's right, though. But yeah, I couldn't figure it out. But no, they felt great. And yeah, if you love Splatoon 1, you're going to love Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
And that's one little caveat that I want to make sure that people know. They were very adamant. They wanted to let people know this is the demo of the game. This is not the final build of the game. This is not the full version of the game. So I think some things are going to be a tad bit different. Fun fact, though, every single person on my team, when we played 8 player, had the splat roller, and we dominated.
That's because the roller is the best item to play with.
Oh my god, I love it.
It's the best. I do not have as much fun playing with any of the guns.
Yeah.
I have to use a splat roller. Just being able to roll over people when you want to just kill them, that's the best. It's the best.
But again, I'm sorry I skipped over Splatoon 2. I don't know what I was thinking.
Well, there were a lot of games to cover.
There were a lot of games to cover.
And we're very excited. So.
Yes.
I am always excited. I'm excited 100% of the time. But it's actually fun because now we're moving into our Q&A section here, and we do have a few questions. And the very first one is about Splatoon 2. This is from Hayden Swan. Hayden was my partner in One Two Switch. Hayden was my partner in Snipperclips. I'm going to just pull up that clip here one more time. He was my partner in crime. He helped me win this. I'm going to put it on real quick. I almost never wear hats. Like, I almost never wear hats, but this is...
Look at that.
A very... Ooh, I have a big head.
Yeah, it's okay. It's probably meant for kids, too.
This is a very, very special occasion. So I'm going to put the hat on for this question in celebration of Hayden Swan.
Oh.
There we go. Ooh, it feels weird. It feels
Your
weird having the
hair's
hat
sticking
on.
out.
That's okay.
I
They
think you
can't
wear it
see
well,
the.
though.
Yeah, you
They
do.
can't see the back. You have a hat too, sir.
Yeah.
I do.
Let's see that hat.
Yes, there it is. Same as
Oh,
yours.
that
But
looks
my head is gigantic, and even on the largest setting, it looks terrible. It looks like a big cat.
But
So-
it's a good gift to take away from the experience.
I feel like
Yeah.
Forrest Gump right now. I also want to point out, yes, I know we both have hats, but they were not just handing out hats willy-nilly at this event. You had to get pulled onto stage and either win an event, or they threw out a couple at the very end,
Yeah.
which was kind of sad.
Because TJ, you had to win yours.
So we
Yeah,
both
that
won
was
ours.
part. Yep,
Yeah.
that's right. And I saw pictures of that hat before we even went to the event. And I'm like, I hope they have those. I really want one. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
So again, Hayden Swan asks, "Hey guys, my name's Hayden. I was at the event yesterday with you guys. I didn't get a chance to play Splatoon 2 with the Pro Controller, so I was wondering what did you guys think of the control style, which you already kind of gave us a little bit of your opinion on that. And did it play better than it did in tabletop mode, or did it feel odd with the gyroscope? Also, thanks, Jason, for playing Snipperclips with me up on stage. I'll treasure the hat forever."
Aw.
And so will I. Even though I think I got like a little string hanging off of one of it, but that's totally fine. Tabletop mode was great. I call it tablet mode. Well, I didn't play in tabletop mode. I played in tablet mode. The gyroscope, like, as I mentioned before, was buttery smooth. I play better with the gyroscope. I know a lot of people don't. And we already have your opinion, I think, already on the Pro Controller, unless you have any final thoughts on that.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone has anything to worry about. One thing with playing Puyo Puyo Tetris, I play Tetris all the time. Like, I love it. Way better at Tetris than I am Puyo Puyo.
Yeah.
But I did notice I was playing primarily with the D-pad, and I don't know if it was the game, I don't know if it was me or what, but it was hitting some of like the other directions when I didn't mean for it to. Because like in Tetris, if you hit up, you instantly drop the piece.
Yeah.
It dropped, like, there were a few times where it dropped when I did not want it to, and I've played a ridiculous amount of Tetris in my life. So I don't know if maybe that was just the controller I had, if it was just the demo, but just something to mention.
There you go. Good question. And again, thank you. It was an absolute blast winning this amazing hat with you, as you can see right there. We have our commemorative handshake we're about to give each other. It was absolutely a blast. So next one comes from Trev. How do you save a Mii to an Amiibo for transfer from, say, the 3DS to the Switch? That's a good question. I do know the Switch does support Mii Maker. That was leaked a few days ago with the gentleman who apparently somehow got his hands on a stolen Switch, as it turns out now. He initially said that it was like just delivered early from a retailer, but it turns out it looks like, at least from Nintendo's statement, it was stolen.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, not cool.
Bum bum bum.
Yeah.
However, from the filthy theft of a console, we did get some fun nuggets of information.
Nuggets.
Yeah, nuggets. One of those nuggets of information is we got to see the Mii Maker in action for the first time, and it looks pretty basic. It looks pretty straightforward. You can make your own Mii. I saw there was an option for importing a Mii. I wasn't sure if it was a QR code. There's no camera on the Switch, is there? Or is there one in
No.
the back?
No, there's not.
So it couldn't have been a QR code. And now that video is deleted forever, so I'll never be able to figure it out until
I
it
also
actually comes out.
I wonder too if maybe it will somehow link to the smartphone app that they're
Might-
going to
yeah,
release,
from-
because then, in Miitomo,
Yeah.
and then you can QR code that way. So I don't know.
That would make the absolute most sense for my
Yeah.
Nintendo to just import the Mii over. I have to get a little bit more information on that, but at least there is a Mii Maker built into it. That was one of the biggest fears a lot of people had was, will there be Mii support?
Yeah.
And I know you'd be heartbroken.
I would be, but that's part of who Nintendo is now. And to me, they just spent so much time promoting the Mii through the Wii, the Wii U, the 3DS, and now even mobile devices. We have Miitomo. I mean, it is part of what Nintendo is right now. It
Yeah.
represents us as individuals through gaming. So I think it's something that's kind of necessary to bring over. I honestly, as soon as you read that question, I just thought of like what you said with the My Nintendo. If we have everything that's linked together anyway, I feel like the Mii is just going to be automatically accessible from the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Supposedly too, the Mii Maker has some more like features in it, some more like customization options too.
Like
I don't know.
clothes, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
No,
hope so.
I think more like different eyebrows and,
Oh, okay.
and maybe like
Oh.
eye choices, stuff like that. Supposedly,
On
I didn't
fleek.
see that video that was going around, so I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I heard.
I honestly, and I've mentioned this before, I was always hoping that Nintendo would scrap the Mii Maker on the console itself, or just import the Mii Maker that Miitomo has, because Miitomo's Mii Maker is just brilliant.
That's great, yeah.
It is.
It would be amazing, and what an amazing cross promotion would it be for you to decorate your character with clothes in Miitomo and bring that over to the Switch version of it?
Yeah.
Because I know you would love it if you
I
could like
want
bring
it.
the Princess Peach costume over.
Even though I might not play Miitomo in every single way and talk to friends and everything every day, I still sign on every day to do Miitomo drop and to see what new clothes are in the shop.
Me too.
It's just fun because I mean we've had the Miis for so long now, for so many years, but this is the first time we really get to customize them in detail. So yeah, I think it's really necessary for them to bring those customization features over to the Switch.
Yeah.
And like you said, Miitomo and that type of customization functionality would be the perfect way to do it.
There you
Yeah.
go. Hopefully we answered that question. I know it's a little bit less detailed than I'm sure you would have liked, but yeah, there you have it. Jennifer Birch, who I know is in chat right now
Hi,
too,
Jennifer.
as always, gave us a nice little novelization of questions, but we're gonna answer one of these.
Okay.
After having hands-on experience with the Switch and its games, what has surprised you the most in the following categories: games, controllers, and hardware functionality? Happily, Candy, I'm going to let you take that one first.
Mine for me is going to be the controllers for sure. In so many ways too. I mean, just the functionality of them, the ease of use, the fact that the Joy-Cons can connect to the tablet. There's a variety of ways, and every single method is so smooth.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to even choose a very favorite versus the Joy-Cons with the tablet and then the Pro controller, and it would be between those two. But I think it's just, like I said, the variety of ways that you can game and how seamless it is to switch between all of them.
Switch. For me, for the categories, it would be, for the first one, for games, 1-2 Switch was my biggest surprise. I didn't think it would be as robust as it was. So that was great. My biggest surprise for the controller was the Joy-Cons in the separated mode. Oh my god, it's great. I've already said it twice in the cast. It is my new favorite thing to do. I am going to be playing that way primarily. And then from the hardware perspective, HD Rumble is the coolest thing I've seen from Nintendo in a long time. It really feels like there is something going on inside of your controller. If developers use it right, it's going to be like a AAA feature. If developers don't use it at all, if they neglect it, I'm terrified it's just going to like be a forgotten feature that you might see like in niche games from Nintendo. Somebody mentioned, and I think it was you, TJ. I think it was you. It might have been a member of our team, so forgive me if I have this wrong. They said how cool it would be to like be able to like feel the ink in your ink tank fill up with HD Rumble.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was me. I
That
mean,
was you,
someone
yeah.
else might have said it too, but yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, that would be perfect. That's exactly what HD Rumble should do. Stuff like that.
And based on what we've seen, I think that's completely doable too.
And Nintendo, they revolutionized Rumble. I mean, the Rumble Pack with Star Fox 64, I mean, they started it, and it's still a technology that is used in every major console today. So it's definitely up to Nintendo, at least in my opinion, to revolutionize it, and I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
So, awesome question. And by the way, don't feel bad about giving us a big block of questions.
Oh yeah, no, we like that. It's fun being able to pick and choose.
We love it. We have one from Luigi. I think this is the actual Luigi, so Mario's brother,
Wow,
which is really neat.
that's very exciting.
I didn't think he watched the newscast, but it's nice. Hi guys, I have some questions for you. How do you compare the Joy-Con grip versus the Pro Controller? Do you think the Pro Controller is worth the purchase? Let's stick to that one. Do you think the Pro Controller is worth the purchase? It's $70. It's an expensive controller. There are two things in it that I feel like this is why it is expensive. HD Rumble, again, and the NFC reader. Those two aspects built directly into the controller, I feel like that's why it's so expensive. I think that justifies the price. I think if you don't want to spend that much money, you can pick up the wired Hori gamepad for considerably cheaper without the HD Rumble. Does that one have the NFC in it? I don't think it does.
I didn't think
I don't
so.
know.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm
So
not sure.
Nintendo is giving you a wealth of options. If you don't want to spend like an extra dime on anything, you don't have to. So me personally, I am picking it up because I like having the options, and I feel like there's going to be games that are better suited for it. Probably when Smash comes out eventually for it, it's probably going to play the best on the Pro controller.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the price is definitely up there. I would say we talked about it a little bit before, but of all the different control options, the Joy-Con grip was my least favorite. But once again, playing Zelda, a few minutes into it, you totally forget about it.
Yeah.
So I don't think you necessarily need to buy one day one. But I would say, buy the system, see how you like those controllers. If you want something a little more traditional, then by all means, I think the Pro controller is worth it. It is kind of a big investment, but I mean, it's something you're going to have for the rest of the life of the system. So
Hopefully, unless
Yeah.
somebody throws it across the room.
Jason,
What?
is that you?
That might be. I've only thrown a controller across the room one time. It was in NFL 2K7.
Really? That's the game you got heated up over?
really,
Okay,
Oh, is there a story?
I'm learning so
I was-
much about you.
I
I was
know.
playing with my friend Pete,
Uh-oh.
and I was winning, and I've never won a game of NFL 2K7 against him ever, and I wasn't bad at it.
Okay.
And
He's just really good.
No, it was crap. I'll get into it. There was 2 seconds left on the clock. He was 60 to 80 yards away, and he decided to kick a field goal, and he made like an 86-yard field goal in the game, and he beat me with next to no time left on the clock. And I was never more infuriated in my entire life. I threw my controller against a wall, and it broke into like 3 pieces.
I gotta give Pete credit. That's pretty amazing.
And it was actually funny because after I did it, he was like laughing, and I just pointed at the door, and I'm like, "Get out!" And I kicked him out.
Jason doesn't like losing, so when he does lose, it's like pretty great.
That would have been, if this was a real football game, that would have been the longest field goal in history. In history. It did not make me happy.
That's amazing.
It didn't make me happy.
Well, wait. When you and I were milking, who won that?
That's not something
Context.
I thought I'd hear. That's
Phrasing.
not something I thought. No, please keep it coming, TJ. Stop it.
Yep.
Wait,
Yeah,
okay,
I-
go
I
ahead. When we were
believe-
milking,
Yes, I believe I won in the 1-2 switch milking game that they had. It was 10 cups to 15 cups?
I think I had 11 cups.
Oh, you had 11.
11
that's
cups
right,
of
11
moon
and
juice.
14.
Yeah.
See, I exaggerated there.
You shouldn't be proud that you were that good at the game.
Oh, you should
I'm
be.
only going to get better. You have no
I
idea.
have no doubt. I have no doubt about that.
Ah.
All right, let's move on to Corey's question. So Corey asks, I really would like an Isaac amiibo from Binding of Isaac, not from Golden Sun. What non-Nintendo amiibo would you want the most?
What non-Nintendo? Oh no.
Oh man, non-Nintendo amiibo. Does it need? Do you think it needs to be relevant? Does it need to be something that currently has a?
No. I think that's the beauty of the question.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I think I'd really like an Earthworm Jim.
I like that.
Yeah,
I always
think so.
assumed Earthworm Jim would have made his way to Smash. He might.
Never know.
So you might get your wish.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
What about Earthworm Jim warrants an amiibo?
I always thought it was such an interesting character. I mean, he doesn't have the greatest games, but just the fact that it's a worm in like a robot suit, a human suit. Yeah, I don't know. I love the character. There's not really any other characters like him. I've always loved him since I was a kid.
What about you? Happily Candied?
2 games come to mind for me, and that is The Boy from Limbo.
Okay.
I am obsessed with Limbo. It is one of my favorite games, right down to the ambient sounds that are used in place of music. Mm-hmm. It's a gorgeous game. The simplicity of it, even in the character design, is awesome. And the other one that comes to mind is Child of Light, even though that was available on the Wii. Or Wii.
Yeah.
Wii U. And I adore Child of Light. I would love to see, I guess, the character come to life through toy form.
There you go.
Yeah.
I would like to see Cloud, and I know we're getting him. It's a non-Nintendo amiibo. I know it's coming at some point, but I want Cloud. I want Cloud. I want Cloud. We did have one other question too. However, it is one we already answered. They wanted to know about Splatoon 2 without motion controls, and we already answered that one. I think that's going to do it for the Q&A section of this evening. Again, before we go though, TJ, I just want to give you a few moments to let people know where they can find any information about you or anything that you'd like to just kind of give us for a closing thought.
Oh, sure. Yeah, well, I am just a regular dude. I like video games, I like board games. But you can follow me on Twitter if you'd like. I'm at TJ Power You Love It. Yeah, just go ahead, give me a follow. I just post about games and stuff like that. But yeah, overall, I would say if you're excited for the Switch, I think you should be even more excited now. I know it sounded like, we were positive about every single thing, but honestly, like, we're telling the truth. It really was fun. I know they put you in that environment where, they're hyping you up and everything, but even having some time to kind of like sleep on it and think about it the next day, if anything, I'm even more excited for the system now than I was before I got to play it. So the third cannot get here soon enough.
And we want to point out, and TJ, Smash Supremacy TJ, by the way, also mentioned in chat, you are not a normal dude. You are a video game master.
Yep. You are in history. Like, you are part of Nintendo history.
You have a trophy that I at least know one guy would pay a huge amount of money for.
Well, actually, I just noticed in the chat, my buddy Chris, my partner in crime, he is in the chat.
Very nice.
That's exciting.
So we have both of the members of the 2010 Wii Summer Game champions here.
Yay.
That is very, very cool.
Yeah.
But thank you again for being on. Before we go, though, Happily Candied, where can we find information about you?
You can find me on Twitter at HappilyCandied, and the link to my personal website, happilycandied.com, is linked in the description. It's my sugary corner of the world, where I post a lot of photography, some personal stories, and just everything why I like toys and games and why I love being a 32-year-old who enjoys these things and enjoys sharing them with the world.
Awesome. By the way, while you were talking, I noticed just the red hat, and I feel like I can't wear red hats anymore. I feel like the whole political system has ruined red hats for everybody.
I thought you were going to point that out as soon as you put it on, but instead you related it to some... Oh, Forrest Gump instead.
Yeah, well, Forrest Gump's got the Bump of Gump hat, which is also red.
Yeah.
But in this ever-changing political environment, I feel like I can't wear this hat in public.
Yeah.
But I can wear it on the newscast.
Yay.
So that's always fun.
Screenshots, guys.
Before I give you guys information about where you can find me, I do want to, again, give a quick shout out to our announcer, Jared Rutledge. He is outstanding in everything everything he does. He is one of the coolest guys I've ever met. I've met him at E3 the last 2 years. He's coming again with us, hopefully, for a third. He is such a nice guy to do every single episode of the newscast for us. If you guys are looking for voice acting from Jared Rutledge, you can find him on Twitter at Jared_Rutledge. That's RUTHLEDGE.
Yes. Correct.
If I'm wrong, I'm so sorry, Jared,
yes,
but you'll find him.
I believe that's correct. And I'd also like to thank all of our mods in chat. They're members and they're writers for the Nintendo Wired team, and I know that Ricky has been in there the whole time. I think Daniel might have popped in. TJ's in there, and I saw George in there earlier. If I missed anyone, I'm sorry, but thank you guys again for once again modding the chat tonight. We are forever grateful for everything that you do.
If you're in chat, I just put Jared Rutledge's Twitter account down there. Find him. If you need voice work, find him. He is a master at voice work. So, again, thank you to all of our teammates, as you said as well. If you're looking for any information on me, you can find me on my personal Twitter account at AmiiboJason or over at NintendoWire.com, our new site, PlayStationWire.com. And honestly, thank you guys for being part of this amazing Happy Nintendo family. If you like what you saw, if you like what you heard, if you're not already subscribed to our channel, hit the subscribe button down below, maybe even the thumbs up button. The thumbs up button would super help us too. And if you listen to this on iTunes at any point, if you could give us a review on the Apple iTunes page, that would really help us stand out, because there are so many other Nintendo podcasts.
Yeah,
we feel like we love all of them. We feel like we try to really stand out the most that we can. So, as always, have a good morning or a good evening, depending on when you're listening to this, and we'll talk to you guys all soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.